I'm over here now.
America's First News with Gordon Deal and the Fox News Rundown.
You learn about so many different things. I am in touch with everything that's going on.
There's actually intriguing talk.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9. News Talk 1040 Tampa Bay. News and talk you can depend on.
You have no idea. About to make a second headline for self-deportations on Fox Across America. My next guest misses Harry and Meghan so much, she's trying to get me to go to London in December. What I didn't realize... everybody thought this was a good idea till it happened. Joining us now to make sense of her feelings, you know her and love her as the K-Train. Hey, girl.
Hey, Jim.
Addition by subtraction is how we've characterized it. I love that Harry and Meghan left.
I can't get enough of them leaving.
Are you concerned? Because we know tragically Princess Diana died from getting chased by the paparazzi. Are you concerned the paparazzi might die from getting chased by Meghan? I'm genuinely, because clearly
she is not Princess Diana. Like, no one will ever pique the paparazzi's interest like Harry's late mother ever.
No,
like, and Meghan would love to portray herself as someone so magnetic, someone who is, they follow every word, every step, every breath. That is not the case.
Yes.
The only reason paparazzi follows her is to make fun of her.
Yeah, for real.
Because that is what sells. Like, her missteps, her dumb statements, her business failures.
Dopey candle.
For whatever reason. Yeah. Like, people cannot get enough of the career implosion of Meghan Sussex.
And what's very funny about this is obviously the market here has rejected them because we didn't want the high salaried victimhood thing anymore.
No.
And you and I have said this for as long as we've known each other. They should have went the other way. Like, he should have been Arthur. Because he was Arthur before she came along. Yeah. He was getting kicked out of the pool to Mandalay Bay. I asked the question earlier, does anybody know what you have to do to get kicked out of the pool to Mandalay Bay? I don't. I've tried everything. I don't know that you could, but he did.
Yes.
And he used to be the party boy, and we liked him because he was kind of a loud and a hooligan. And then she came along and pulled him into the victimhood thing. And I really do believe the reason the family probably hated her is if you're that prosperous and you're that rich, you get very good at identifying grifters in your ranks. Meaning people that are trying to trade off the status of the family and do whatever they did. And they were pretty much alienated by her to a person within like a few months of this happening.
Yeah, they knew exactly what she was. And, I think about this because she pleads ignorance. And she's like, I didn't know it was going to be this much work. I didn't know the rules were going to be this rigid. So either she's a moron or Prince Harry didn't do a good job of explaining what the job is, which it seems to be pretty evident to everyone else in that family.
Yes.
And, the glaring failures of people who've run afoul of the rules should have been enough for her to go, this is a pretty great job.
Yeah.
Like, I've got job security. No matter what happens, my family, if I have kids with this guy, they'll always be taken care of.
Yep.
But she couldn't do it because it wasn't about her.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was like a third-rung royal.
Yes.
She was mortified by that.
Yeah, like she wasn't even Royal Caribbean. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But she wanted the clout. We're talking to Kennedy. She's got another phenomenal column on the Daily Mail today. We'll get into that in a minute. But I love the story because I watched this thing unfold as the slow motion train wreck that it was. Do you remember? I remember every instance of misstep. Do you remember when they said they got in a high speed chase with the paparazzi here in New York?
On 10th Avenue.
10th Avenue, a high-speed chase would be 7 miles an hour.
Okay, 10th Avenue, where they installed a bike lane, so they took away one of the lanes, and now there are no longer cops on the street, so no one gets ticketed for double parking. So they triple park on 10th Avenue.
And there's a bus lane.
Like, I have crawled along 10th Avenue at 8 miles per hour, and I would pray to God to be going 20 miles an hour.
Dude, I was once driving a guy, picked him up at 23rd and 10th. He was trying to get up to 81st and where it becomes Amsterdam. And 2 blocks in, he got out of my cab and jumped onto a turtle. He wound up beating me there by 28 minutes. Literally right up the road. It's the slowest road in America. But I remember them saying, like, oh, we were in a high-speed chase in the paparazzi.
Yeah,
there was no
they're
proof.
so full of crap. Like, everything is just milking a story so they can get coverage, because the only thing they have to sell, they're not interesting. They're horrible at creating content.
Yes.
So you had development teams at Spotify and Netflix bending over backwards to develop content for them, and they would have like the brightest creative minds in all of media.
Yeah.
Sitting there, it's like they at one point spitballed a podcast for Prince Harry about how much he likes hot chocolate. That's how bad it got, because every time he would go to Spotify, he'd be like, can you please get me a cup of hot chocolate? And they're like, wow, well, this is the only interesting thing about the guy. We can't talk about him prancing around in a Nazi uniform, so maybe we go with the hot chocolate. He's like, oh, no, that's too personal. That's an invasion of my privacy.
We're talking to Kennedy, and everything it's all spot on, because when you come in with their name recognition and show up to Netflix, like the people they're assigning to your projects are smoking a level of weed we've never heard of.
Yes.
Like, this is the top creative team, and they can usually make anything interesting, at least for a season, and they weren't able to do that for them for an episode. Everything they did, if you remember the cooking stuff, if you remember all the podcast stuff that you mentioned earlier, I know. But again, the market rejected them. And what I kind of take it as a weird win, because we're outgrown. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear complain. But then it was not what the Queen said, don't complain, never explain.
Yes.
And they literally wrote a book about how hard it was.
Yeah, and and that is like the one thing. And so he writes this book, and the only part people want to know about is Princess Diana. That's the only thing that makes him interesting. So he writes this book and just drags his family through the mud, airs all these secrets, like for any family. That's poor taste. And he can't imagine why his brother won't talk to him. And his brother's like, you denigrated my wife. You claim that I physically attacked you.
Yeah.
You're making fun of everyone in our orbit. You're making life so difficult. It's already an uphill battle to get people in the UK to like them.
Yeah.
And then Harry does this, and it's miraculous, because they end up hating everybody, and they end up hating Harry even more.
Yeah, they really hate him.
I mean, the world resents her so much for destroying him. And now the guy is a shell of himself. And, he just sort of putters around his Montecito house. He's hyper vigilant. He's not conversational. He's bored and annoyed by the whole thing. I mean, that's how the world feels about them.
Yes.
And that's his life. So it's like, it's no wonder, it's like they're running out of money. The New York Post pegs their mortgage and insurance payments at $600,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a lot of scratch going out the door if you don't have any income. And if they've blown through the tens of millions of dollars they were given by Netflix and Spotify, like, shame on them. Like, they're a couple of dim bulbs.
What I always enjoyed is I love people who don't have self-awareness.
Yes.
I find them fascinating. And it's one of our favorite stories we've ever told, is her in the village. She's in a village on one of her goodwill missions to Africa, where the village is literally outfitted to aid people who have been victimized by landmines.
Yes.
So there are horribly disfigured people making their way in and out of a shot that she's in. And this is
hoping for potable drinking water. That's a best case scenario for them, that they're not getting the Hershey squirts again this month.
They're literally hoping you can drink it and spit it in their mouth like a bird.
Yeah.
These people are banged up.
Yeah.
It's horrific. It's only made funny by the fact that
the guy is hopping to the well.
But he's going the wrong way because he's also blind.
Yeah.
And she's literally sitting on a rock. And the interviewer goes, "How are you doing today, Meghan?" And she cries.
Oh, yeah. She actually turns up. She's like, Thank you for asking me how I'm doing, because I have to be honest with you. No one ever asks me how I'm doing? I'm going to leave the royal family.
There's a guy
It's
now.
like pound sand.
She's literally sitting next to a guy who's just a thumb. It's just a thumb. It's just sitting there, moving around like, hey, can I have a sandwich? And she didn't care. And I found it all to be so...
How are you, Megan?
You know, Monty Python, bring out your dead. I'm not dead yet. She's just there. And they wanted people to feel bad for them. And I'm telling you, like, this is a sign that it's going to work. There's also a sign for real that I actually think in time socialism will get defeated in its tracks, because at our core, we actually want the opulent decadence that they should have just been flaunting. In the Instagram age, where we have all these people who like have Lamborghinis and don't do anything, and they're like, look at me.
Kylie Jenner.
Yes, they would be the best ones.
Yeah. And that's like, at least there is value to that. At least there is self-awareness there.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because the A-listers they used to pal around with, they don't want anything to do with them. And part of it is these people actually work.
Yeah.
Like most of the A-listers they're friends with are people who don't come from generational wealth, who are self-made.
Yeah, look at Oprah.
And then they look at these two. I mean, look at Serena Williams.
Yeah.
They look at these two and they're like, no, you cannot come to my black tie event. No, I'm not going to name you the benefactor of my charity. No, I'm not doing any of that because it was all about like, what can you give me? And they had nothing to offer in return.
Yeah, it's so true, man.
They don't have a work ethic. And, you know, it's like, and it's this false humility. It's, Go back to England. Go to a dumb cottage where there's no internet, there's no cell service, so we do not have to hear a thing from you or about you.
Are you concerned that, you know, there's a thought process out there that, technically speaking, this is the most inflammatory thing we've sent to a king since July 4th, 1776. Does King take this as some type of declaration of hostility from America?
Sending them back?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. But he's like, I don't blame you. To be honest, I'd have done the same thing a while ago. Maybe just shot them right into Canada.
What I truly want to know is Oasis touring right now? Because there's no way they wouldn't mention this on stage. They always do something. We saw them at the Meadowlands, and you were there. They were giving a hard time about the location of the stadium. He's like, oh, it's good to be here in New York. Because you tell a guy you come to New York and he's got to drive to New York. He's confused.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait a second.
We got more Kennedy. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the most addictive show on the radio.
This is crack, rock cocaine. It isn't glamorous or cool or kid stuff.
This is Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla. You're listening to Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla. Up all night? Catch Red Eye Radio. Overnights, hear news, information, and talk. News Talk 1040 WHBO.
Bang, there it is. Fox Across America, Jimmy Failla and the K-Train doing the damn thing. Are you about to leave town and go tell jokes somewhere? I got to go to Chicago. Where are you going?
I'm going to Tacoma, Washington, the 28th and 29th to Tacoma Comedy Club.
Stop it.
Very excited because I used to host a talk radio show in Seattle on the now defunct Buzz. So people who used to listen to my radio show should come have the night of their lives.
If you're listening on KTTH in Seattle, this is a home game for you.
Amen.
It is a home game. I've also made that flight where I connect in Seattle, and it's so funny because the second flight is like 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're like taking off and landing at the same time. You're like, is everything okay? They're like, we're here. And you just get out. The Tacoma Comedy Club is amazing.
Yeah.
They actually have the best green room. So the people who own that group of comedy clubs in Fort Wayne, in Oklahoma.
Bark Entertainment.
Yeah. Amazing facility.
I love, so I've been to several of their clubs this year. Mm-hmm. They have a candy wall in the green room.
Yeah. Jenny loves that candy wall.
I love those people. I like every club I've been to. Mm-hmm. So well run, amazing crowds.
Yep.
And it's seamless.
Thank you. And you can see Kennedy there on the 28th and the 29th of this month. You finish your August in style. You know what I'm saying? It's America 250.
Big pimpin'.
You gotta, and everybody who comes, she's giving them a head of Taco Bell lettuce. Right there, you get it right there.
I mean, you want to skinny up for Labor Day. That should be everyone's
You look good at the
goal.
barbecue.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I love that. What do you think? I'm probably going to have to talk about it on this weekend show. What do you think the biggest flop of the summer was? Because I have theories on this. Obviously, we talked about Taco Bell lettuce being toxic a lot. But I'm really hung up on the fact that Taylor Swift had a $30 million wedding and they supposedly ran out of champagne. Like, is that acceptable?
No.
I don't think that's acceptable.
Okay, at our wedding?
Yeah.
Didn't run out of anything.
No, and
Had
believe
a
me.
massive buffet.
If there was a crowd that could have.
Yeah. And when we were talking with the wedding planner, she asked that. She's like, does anyone in your group drink? And Fred and I both started laughing. Maybe two people don't, and they're under 12.
She's like, does anybody drink? A pregnant woman was like, I do. Like, oh, wow. Let's reel it in here. But yes, I actually think in theory, because there's this whole, someone was talking to me about Supergirl. Supergirl's just we've run out of comic books. You know what I mean? I saw that like Spider-Man's doing well or whatever, but I think Supergirl, I think, was just a victim of that. You know what I'm saying? I think the Taylor Swift
But there was like horrible casting.
Yes.
Bad writing. Like you don't care about the character.
She did the old, she doesn't need a man.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. But nobody
and
even
I
saw
don't
that
want
interview.
a conservative dad with 4 kids coming to see my show. It's like,
oh, well, you're in luck.
wish granted, dear.
Hold on. I couldn't hear you over the sound of that executive shooting himself. Wait, what did she say?
Yeah.
Just get out of your own way. But I honestly, I think that's the problem for so many people. My cousin Cindy was texting me during the break about this. She said Harry and Meghan will be divorced in like a year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is there's probably a level of prosperity, right? That just disassociates you from the way other people think. You know, like we go on the road, we meet people, we are people, we have kids. We always talk about constantly. I don't think these people have that to some extent because you'd have more self-awareness if you did.
Yeah, no, they absolutely don't. And it's interesting your cousin says that because I bet it's much more difficult for her to take the kids out of the country once they have moved to England.
Oh, that's a good
point. So, he gets them to England. He's like, no, Meghan, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. And then they get there. He's like, oh, by the way, here's a summons for divorce. And then he's like, oh, by the way, you can't take the kids on the plane. Fun fact, you're screwed.
It's going down one of two ways. She's either getting dumped by him or she's landing and immediately sending a thirst trap to Ringo Starr. You know, she wants some relevance, man.
It's like, well, if I can't be a royal, I'll be a Beatle.
Because think about it. That eventually will become the only way to gain relevance anymore is to be a part.
Yes.
And it's sad that I think most objective people see it that way. And what's funny is the earlier point I made to you about how rich people know when there's a grifter hanging out around the family is if you remember in the very beginning of this, I'm talking like day one when this was a public thing, it was the first Trump administration. And he got asked about that. And he goes, all I would say to Harry is good luck because he's going to need it with that one. And we didn't even know who that one was. But he knew enough from a social circle.
Yep.
He's going to need it with that one. Everybody was like, oh, that's racist. We're like, no, he knows crazy women.
Yeah, he knows crazy.
Of course he does. And you know who else knew crazy? Will, the king, the queen. If you haven't talked to the queen in 3 years and you have a kid and name it after her pet nickname, that's sociopathic.
Yeah, that's weird.
And people see the strategy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think we're all accurate. So give me an over-under. We have 30 seconds left. Over-under on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle staying together. I give you 2.5 years.
I would say 15 months.
Is the max.
Yeah.
Cousin Cindy might be cashing in down in Florida.
Write it down, Mikey.
Mikey, you heard it here. Mikey's too busy betting the WNBA right now. You have no idea what's going on in there. It's a whole to-do. But if you listen to the K-Trains podcast, Kennedy Saves the World, you, my friend, gamble and win every day. You're welcome.
Woo!
You are the best thing on the radio.